One last thing I'd like to do for this consumer is improve it a bit, because let me uncomment this code here. So here we have my Q consumer, and currently it's pretty clunky. I need to receive a message, which works, right? We can receive messages, but only after I input some value and, I'd like this thing to actually run somewhere in the background, and I can continue with some other executions here while the Q consumer is consuming messages. So let's see here, how can we do that? This sort of thing, running in the background, all of this sounds like I want threading, so multi-threading. Now in Java we have threads, right? We can instantiate a new thread. If we say thread worker equals new thread, then we can do it that way. Or we can make use of one of the classes that comes with the Java library that sort of abstracts all of that away from us. So in my case, I'm going to have a private final executor service. I'll call this my executor or executor. And then this needs to be, I can actually initialize it in this, in here. So let's see here, executors. This is a factory, and I'll just have a single thread executor. This means that it's going to spawn up exactly one thread and then use that one to do the work. One thing to always keep in mind with executors though, is that we need to shut them down. So immediately in my close method, I'm going to shut down this, this executor. I don't think I need this method. I'll just use the normal one. And it's also pretty cool that it doesn't throw a bunch of exceptions, so it's being taken care of. Up next is a method or a piece of code that's going to run on that new thread. We can make these things private. They need to return void, or it's just easy to return void. I'll call this do work. That's not really what I want. Let's go up here to my fields. I'll add in a new Boolean. I'll call it is running. While this machine is running, do something. Otherwise, don't do it, right? So in my do work, I want to keep receiving messages, handling them with my message handler while the program is still active. So I'll do something like this. While is running, receive. And this will take care of reading from the queue and then handling that message. But in the event that this thing returns false, which means that there's an error, we can say if not receive, then is running is false. All right, do work. Let's go set up some methods to start this thing and also stop it. So void start, I'll say is running equals true, and then executor.submit. Here I can submit some workload. I'm going to say this dot do work. You just give it a method like this. So then this executor will then run this on one of its managed threads. And in this case, there's only one of them in there. But because I have a start method, I also want a stop method. And in this case, it's going to be as simple as setting is running to false. Let's go to our close method and just make sure that we always call stop, regardless of whether the calling code stop called it or not. All right, this is a lot more useful. Let's see if it works. I'll go to my Q consumer program, and then instead of saying receive, I'm just going to say Q consumer.start, and then at the end, I'll stop it. So let's run the consumer. This shouldn't do anything, or at least it outputted the messages that were already on there. And now if I run my producer, say something like hello. Don't know what that did. I'm gonna quit that and quit this and make sure that my queue names are actually the same. And I don't think they are. This one is doing messages in, and this is test queue or whatever that was. So I'll start up my producer again, my consumer, and there's some of that gibberish that I typed out. So there we go. This one is working. Just for the sake of completion, let's try to do the same thing, but on the ActiveMQ broker. So I'll start up my producer. That'll set up the queue. and I'll start up my consumer as well. Let's hear hello. And there we go. Even the old clunky one is doing it. So this is great. And it's also running in the background. So I can come in here and just quit this program, produce some stuff, and then whenever this consumer comes online again, it'll read those messages, and that's it. One thing I like to end on with this one, inside of our queue producer, if we want to set up that expiration date for the message, we can do it in here. Where we instantiate the producer, let's see here, set time to live. And this is a long time to live, so milliseconds. And there's a nice little utility class in here called duration. Then I can say of minutes, for instance, 2 minutes and then 2 milliseconds. So this will take the time of 2 minutes and convert that to milliseconds. And now every message we create with this producer will have an expiration date of 2 minutes in the future. And then as we've seen here with the queues, it'll be moved to this expiry queue when that time, when that time has elapsed.